We drove to Abilene, Texas for one day to show Hollywood to get qualified for the AQHA World Show. There are multiple ways you can qualify for the AQHA World Show. So number one is through points. So that means you can look for however many points each designated class requires for you to be qualified, and then you can go to shows, and if you win enough and you achieve those points, you're qualified. But let's say you aren't able to show a ton in a year, or you have a couple of bad goes, no worries. If you show at 4 sanctioned AQHA shows in the qualifying period, you're qualified. So with Hollywood, because I didn't start showing him until April, we had a couple of classes where I didn't get points, or there wasn't really enough people in the classes to get enough points. We needed to do the 4 shows, and we had to just make it work. And so that's why we made a little trip to Texas this week, and we went and rode him a few days, and then just made the trek to Abilene, which is like 4 hours, and sat around for 10 hours today. We got to the show at like 9:30, didn't show until 7:30. And it was very much like a wait, and then hurry up. And so I, with like barely any like work beforehand, because he's 18 years old. He knows his job. This wasn't a show where we were trying to go and like win. We just needed to go have a good pattern, right? We just needed to show. And so I took him around the arena a little bit, because he does get a little spooky if he hasn't been in an arena before. I did probably like a 10-minute ride this morning. And then it was like our first time going to a horse show, where it was like, you know, we didn't have Charlie. We went by ourselves. Luckily, Miss Ashley Clock and her team were so, you know, gracious to haul him for us and let us stall with him, and they were so helpful. But we like tacked him up and just did everything, which is another gratifying, you know, piece to the puzzle. Like doing all the steps beforehand definitely makes it that much sweeter to go in and show. So then we went and showed. I did all of the like warm up myself and had a good go. Now we won under both judges, so we are now qualified for the World Show. There were a couple of little pieces to the pattern that weren't like the best, but I figured I'd show you the pattern, tell you what I liked, what I didn't like, and the next horse show is NSBA World. So here's my go. So first off, I practiced the wrong pattern, okay? I'm not even gonna pretend like we prepared, right? Like we practiced pattern 6, this is pattern 4, which is just kind of like the opposite of pattern 6. So instead of loping off on the left lead like I had practiced, it's the right lead to begin with. You go around the end and then you do your line first. So the challenge in this specific arena with Hollywood is that Hollywood is like riding a big bus, and to get a really good change on the first line change, you need to have him going enough. Now it was a clean change, sure, just it wasn't as fancy and as like in motion as the second and third change. I felt like I was probably like a little bit stiff in the line, but with the minimal warm-up that we did, I wasn't really bothered by it. Then by the time that we got to the end of the arena, he was in a really good pace. Now here's the thing, he did start to be like, what the heck is that, with the judges sitting in the arena, which for an 18-year-old horse, I'm like, come on Hollywood, like for real. But he kept it through that change, and then when we turned around and I was, you know, on the left lead coming around to a right lead change, his ears perked up and he was looking at those judges and like not even paying attention. So we made it through that change, but then coming around this way where I had to kind of cut it a little bit because of the judges sitting there, it just kind of put us into not the best spot going into this lead change, and it was a little bit sticky. Like it looked like he might have tripped a little bit in the back end, and then like his shoulder was just way too far to the left, but we recovered. I slowed him down a bit. The log is something where I kind of trust Hollywood because it's not my strong suit, and so I did let him rate to the log and slow down a bit. I made him go about a step past the cones to stop, just because that's something that we struggle with, and so I wanted to make sure that he didn't cheat me right there, and that was our go. I thought it was pretty dang good for showing up and showing.